Okay, this, this session ostensibly is a little bit like an extension of what we just did previously on designing the smart connected product. Because what is a factory or a plant, but it's an accumulation of a lot of equipment and so forth that goes inside the factory or the plant, and they hold the notion of the smart factory. The future is then, of course, it's connected and it's smart, but we're going to look at it in a somewhat different manner than we did the products. But the basic concept of connected and smart and industrial Internet of Things is still holds true and still can be applied across this whole notion of the smart connected factory. But there's a number of things. There's a number of things that are different, and we'll talk about that. So at excuse me, at ARC we've come up with the definition for the industrial Internet of Things. So we have to have some framework that we're working on around this. So we're basically looking at this as the transformation. It is indeed a digital transformation, and that word's been thrown around a lot the last couple of days. It's a transformation of the industrial products, again, the notion of products and equipment to go inside, operations themselves, the value chains of that, the aftermarket, and services, and the aftermarket services. All of that is a part of this overall IoT ecosystem, if we will, again, or life cycle, but it's really more of an ecosystem. And it's enabled through the expansion of sensors, intelligence, digitization, networking, all these, and regular IT that we've had for decades. I use the same slide with the products, but I'll just quickly show it here. Again, we're talking about the emerging smart production ecosystem. So what we were talking about before were products and how they were connected and how we wanted to change the design criteria and what you had to consider about designing products. But now we're going to take all these smart products and we're going to put them in even a larger ecosystem, a system of systems, and it's going to be this whole value stream going through of connected products, going through into the connected enterprise, the connected factory, and then we got the connected worker within that in the context of that and everything. So it's a very, very holistic system of systems approach. We have a new technology stack that we're dealing with now, basically. So we have data sources. We have external data sources, suppliers, inventory, and costs, and so forth. We have enterprise level. We have PLM, ERP, CRM systems, service warranty systems, and all that. Those are all data sources, and some of these data sources are going to be coming at you, but through these connected networks, through this connected ecosystem, and then from the factory itself, you got the sensor data, and you got the condition and the state of the equipment, and the production system, and the use, and the capacity, and so forth. And that's all going to be coming at us in both structured and unstructured, and probably the bulk of this will be unstructured data. You're going to get some numerical value off of a PLC, 42. That's not the fundamental nature of the universe. It's just a piece of digital information. So then we have this notion of the central data repository, where all this data, unstructured and structured data is going to be aggregated, and it's going to be multiple formats. In multiple formats, it's coming at us in multiple formats, and then we start to look at some of these notions of aggregation and normalization that we've had as a part of data science for a long time, and how we're going to deal with this. And that really is the nature. I maintain that the big data out there today is in manufacturing. A lot of it's is historical and it's been maintained for decades. But that's where the really big data is, and that's what we can have. We can use to get a lot of benefits going forward. And then that goes down to our analytics, and then this is the progression that we've been going through. We've been in a descriptive mode for some time now, where we're monitoring and we're capturing product state and condition and so forth. So we've been monitoring for a long time. And we've been diagnosing. We've moved into a diagnostic stage, and now we're kind of in this predictive stage, and then we're moving to a prescriptive stage, where the predictive stage is telling us what's wrong, what are the anomalies, and so forth, and we can make some predictions on that. To prescriptive, which is going to begin to put together and aggregate all this information and tell us how to fix it. So this is kind of a hierarchy, an intelligent hierarchy that we put together here at ARC. And this hasn't really changed much. Again, just going from unconnected or unintelligent equipment out there that's not connected, or just dumb, to instrumented, through analytics up to it's active, and then we get goal-oriented, where we're actually optimizing the equipment itself is trying to optimize itself, to prescriptive and autonomous, which is what I talked about before. And this is basically, these are assets. These are assets that are in the factories and in the plants. So this new model. These new industry models are emerging, where this is a digital transformation of industries. And it's touching organizations, engineering organizations, production and manufacturing organizations, and IT and so forth, and it's going outside of the factory, and it's touching all these different areas of the other factories. The factories have truly become decentralized, and the decentralization of the factories is really the premise of, say, Industry 4.0, which is more prevalent in Europe. But the entire value chain and the digital transformation is also transforming the overall value chain itself. So it's intelligent, connected products set the stage, as I just said, for services and new business models. So basically, we're this factory of the futures, new industrial apps, new generations of mobile devices, new modeling and simulation tools, new business process management and software and workflow tools, new analytics. It's all going to run off of cloud computing and standard networking technologies that have been in place and so forth, and then the intelligence that's out there in the equipment. So this new software model is emerging. We've gone from monolithic mainframe systems to client server systems, and now it's basically platforms, next generation platforms and apps that are combinations of big data analytics, social networking, and apps, mobile apps, and of course the cloud. And what we're really transforming into or transitioning into is this cluster, this mega cluster of microservices that is going to emerge, if you will. So the market. So what's the marketplace going to look like? Well, we got the technologies that I've been talking about. We got the connectivity technologies. So you got companies down there that do connectivity. We've got solutions. You got companies out there, PLM companies and others. And manufacturers themselves, that like GE, for example, that are providing solutions and so forth. And then we have the markets themselves, and we have the companies out there, so who sometimes work on both ends, but they're the manufacturers themselves too. So you got these markets across discrete and process industries, and then you've got companies out there that will be the users of this technology. And I just threw the digital twin up here again quickly. I'm not going to go over that. I did this in the previous session for those who are here. But this is the notion of the digital twin and the digital thread is extremely important to the whole concept of the industrial Internet of Things, and moving beyond the walls of the plant out into the surface area and so forth. And then this slide again, showing that the digital twin is really changing business models. And we talked about that a lot in the earlier session too. It's changing business models from ownership to services provided. And then, of course, this is sort of measuring the IOT maturity around this kind of spider web graph here, where companies would want to go in and look at each of those areas and see how far out or extended or how much they're already into and have implemented solutions in these areas. So some of the challenges, well, cybersecurity is going to obviously be one of the major challenges, and that's why we talk about that a lot. There's been a lot of talk about standardization in this environment of the industrial Internet of Things. That's going to be an interesting thing to see how that evolves and what that's going to be. It may be we may not have standards based on the way we used to do standards, industrial standards and so forth. I think this might be more a case of de facto standards driven by the technology itself as we go forward. And then all of the other things, intellectual property ownership, new business models, and so on and so forth. These are all going to be some of the challenges. And of course, bottom line is, this is very complex. So, and cybersecurity probably will be our biggest challenge, at least initially. Another shameless plug for our ARC industrial blog, and I think most of you will find this very useful. There's a lot of really good stuff out there. We have guest bloggers, and besides all of the ARC analysts that contributed to this. So take a look at that.